Hello, hello. This is our first example in statistics, and statistics is all about collecting data and being able to display that data back to people. Being able to analyze the data, be able to use it. There's a lot of different tricks, a lot of vocabulary words in this section. One of the first sets of vocabulary words that we have are mean, median, and mode. Maybe you've heard of that before, but let's work on calculating that from a data set. So usually we give you some data to work with, like these numbers over here. Right away, some red flags come out to me, like I see this one right here is certainly an outlier. It is not like the rest. It is not with the rest of the data clump. And so as we look at all these hourly wages, some are better than others, but this one is definitely a lot higher. All right. If I was to calculate the mean, I would just simply take all of the numbers in my list and I would add them together and then divide by the number of numbers there are. So in this case, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 numbers total. So I would divide by 8. Add them all up, divide by 8. To make things quicker, I'm just going to click on the screen here. And you can see all of the numbers added together. This is what I would do in my calculator, plus, 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 and then I would divide by 8 on the bottom. Okay, so adding all those together. You notice that this symbol right here is X bar. That's X bar is another way of just saying the average or the mean. Mean is just averaging all the numbers together. So hopefully that skill is not too hard to figure out. Just add them all together and then divide by the number of numbers that are present. Okay, in this case it is, I like to put boxes around my final answer, 9.65. Add them all together, divide by 8. Okay, next part, it says find the median. So in part A, to find the median, what you would do is you would line all of the numbers up from smallest to greatest. And in this case, they've got a bunch of decimals. So anyway, I'm just going to click right here. So you can see, order the data. You got to line them up from least to greatest. And as I do that, I would have my smallest number here, and then you notice it repeats because there's an 8.25 and an $8.25 there as well. So you line them up, line them up, line them up. And as you go up the list, the largest ones here, there's no way to get around just rewriting all of the numbers. So hopefully we don't give you too many numbers to work with. If I gave you a data set that was like 200 numbers, that would be crazy. And so anyway, line them all up and then find the middle. The middle is the median. The median of the road is another way to say that. Like, so the middle of the road is like halfway between the data, in the middle of the data set. All right. So I want to find the middle. The best way to do that is after I have all these numbers lined up, I cross the side out like this. Cross it out, cross it out. Cross it out, cross it out. Okay. Cross it out, and I get to the middle two numbers. If you have an even number of numbers, like I have 8 numbers here, if I have an even number of data points, then I'm going to take halfway between the two middle numbers. So how would I do that? Add them together and then divide by 2. I average the two middle numbers. Okay, so right here, I would add these two together, I get 17.4, and then you would divide by 2. After I divide by 2, I get 8.7. So 8.7 is my median of my data. That's the middle of my data, not the average. The average was 9.65. The middle of my data is 8.7. What about mode? I say mode most, mode most, mode most. That just kind of helps me remember that mode is talking about the number that shows up most frequently. All right, so if I look in my data set over here, I just pick the one that shows up most frequently, and it looks like this one duplicates. $8.25 is a duplicate, and there are no other duplicates. I don't see any other numbers that duplicate. So if I see right here that this is certainly the mode because it shows up most often. It's just any duplicate numbers. $8.25 occurs most often. All right. So part B says that we want to know what measure of center best represents this data and explain your thinking in that. What is the best representation? Well, we have a problem. This is our problem right here. I would say that this actually takes the average of all of our data sets and inflates it. Because that's such a larger number than the rest, then it doesn't finding the average of it, I would typically take that value and throw it out, because it actually doesn't represent the whole set of data the best. And so right here, we would actually not use the mean as our best representation right here. The mean is $9.65. The median is, and the mode is this. But what represents our data the best is the median, okay? Because the median kind of hits in the middle of our data and summarizes all of our data points the best. There are some below that and some, or not $8.25. Let's see, right here, $8.70 is the best representation of all of our numbers in that list. All right.